And there is a contingent of viewers and players as well that don't like when casters bring to light whether a certain player is underperforming, let's say.
Back to the Lion Ban era.
And the reason why I say this is because you don't always want to point fingers at a specific person. Your job isn't to...
You know, it never is a specific person.
Your job isn't to try and put them down. But the context that needs to be applied in this case is that when you're a team playing at this level and you have somebody who is consistently playing below what you believe to be their capabilities, the question becomes, is it an issue with the player or is it an issue with the team? Now, when they picked up Vertical, you know that Rogue made a couple changes with roles. The way that they played, they switched around the way that Slash and Eclipse were playing. They put Shuttle on more of a hard fragging role. They didn't really have that same lineup that they had before when they had Super or Brian or whoever was on the team prior, Avian, going all the way back. The question could be, are Easley's contributions coming in ways that aren't reflected on the scoreboard?
So I would say in this instance, it's not an issue because you pose the question: is it an issue with a player or is it an issue with a team? I could say we could say with confidence that it's not a issue with Easley. But that's the thing, is the formula that's being presented is not allowing Easley to shine. That's really what it comes down to, I think, from my perspective. That's something we need to see change, I think, in the near future. And it's not just on an individual level with Easley either. You know, it goes all over the place here with Rogue. You know, the formula that is had is not perfect. It's not ideal for the amazing lineup that Rogue has. I mean, some of the more OG players in Rainbow Six Pro League, and as well just a lot of talent on the Rogue lineup. So we're waiting to see it fully utilized. But all that said,
it's so weird to say that about Rogue as we just finish up here.
Okay,
it might have a...
Well, at least the bans are done, so we can talk about that.
We can. We were talking over it, actually, as we were continuing on with...
So, level. And yes, we have the actual match.
Take flight.
It looks like we don't have a cursor bug, so we're going to just, we're going to play. Yes, as I was saying, it is curious to me that we have Vertical playing on Nomad. So again, I want to see how that's going to play out because Slash's style of Nomad was kind of unique. And I don't know if it's going to be the same represented here for Rogue or if they were expecting it to be the same or they're going to be playing around something completely different. A lot of teams, the way they end up playing Nomad is actually just to hold down flanks, which is what she's best at, for being honest. Just making sure no one is going to come up that staircase, or that if they do, they'll have to give away their position. So, Mozzie being brought here by Laxing as well, which we've talked about. It's not... Okay. Mozzie is coming out swinging, period. There's not been many teams that haven't been playing Mozzie. He's kind of fully embraced at this point. He's an information op, which is always useful in his gadget. He's got a C4, which is always useful. He's got a sidearm shotgun, which makes him, as an operator, just so much more relevant in the meta. Just an unbelievably powerful secondary is a shotgun in any defender. And it's a decent one for soft destruction. And then he's got a good gun, a 2 armor, 2 speed. That's versatile. What could go wrong?
And a lot of teams have been able to use that intel quite well.
Yeah.
Especially when you see a Valkyrie get banned, especially when you see an Echo get banned. Mozzie is usually one of the next on deck. You get a mark on your screen that his little pest is somewhere nearby. You saw Rogue had that information. They decided not to push on in as they were just walking into study, or at least trying to hold near study. And now Rogue will have another entry point in, taking out one of the castle barricades, and some of Sky's utility will be removed. But
activating drone.
Everything here going according to plan. The take for Rogue is going to be very simple. Get study control and then probably push on in through the doorway on their right. Maybe have one person go over towards 90. This is interesting. Foxay appeared to be taking advantage of his position by the main door. He's going to be in a firefight with Vertical, but neither of them really think much of it. He's going to try to get away, and he's got the impacts to make the rotates that he needs to be able to scamper off.
And that drone information is huge, and it's going to allow Vertical to shut down Foxay. That's great teamwork from Rogue to eliminate the flank potential. Not only is the Nomad actually on flank watch with her gadget, but also just with her gun in general. Vertical's going to rotate back upstairs for the take now, given that the flanker is eliminated. Pre-fire from Mark will miss its target, but a nice attempt there to do some damage, or at least slow down Rogue. He will be at least successful in the second endeavor there, but the Habana holes opened up onto the bar.
Didn't look like it was a fully successful entry, though, for those Hibana x Kairos. It actually looked like only a couple of them went off. And Rogue are really struggling to be able to, connect the dots on this 90 play from Mark. He's getting pushed right now from flashes, but he's got an ADS, and he'll just continue to throw bullets all the way down the hallway. That'll allow the rest of the team to maneuver where they need to, and as long as Mark is in this position, well, I don't know exactly what Rogue's going to be able to do. It sounds like they might be able to get something going towards the actual site. There's one on Repel, and Mark will just watch. The temptation to swing out might be too much for Mark here. Then Vertical picks up kill number 2. Mark just simply waiting, biding time, but everybody on team is dying. Mark might be wasting too much time. Laxing inside a site, cuts down 2. Mark falls, and Laxing gets taken out by easily. So Rogue bull rush their way into the site, and Mark essentially gets isolated and ignored. A 1v1, while the rest of Rogue pummel every single member of Reciprocity.
I actually really like that execution from Rogue. It was a little bit delayed. They ended up spending a lot of time on that flank, and then the control was well established from Rogue, but the actual execution was very delayed as well. So a little scary there for Rogue for just a second. You thought maybe, okay, they're not going to be able to make it happen, but they did. And there were some really fine points to it. I love the way that Shuttle was playing the Hibana on the 90 repel. So he opened up the wall from pool table into the bar to eliminate rotations for the defenders inside, as well as just get opportunities for picks, which he managed to, execute well. I love the way that he did the flash through the window. So the flash was off the rim of the window or off the ceiling, either way. What it did is deny the aggressive push from Mark on 90 to shoot the X-Caros. So Mark was unable to deny the X-Caros on the wall thanks to pressure from the end of the hallway and the the 90 window repel. Those flashes were instrumental, I think, in establishing that control. I'm surprised at how efficiently Rogue were able to, I'd say, nullify the 90 pressure that Mark was putting out, because it was quite substantial. The fact that Mark was playing on 90 and denying that West Hall for so long, impressively done on his part, but it really just came down to that one repel in order to alleviate the pressure and allow Rogue to push into the site. The picks that Rogue were able to put together thanks to the X-Caros holes, seriously, just well executed from Rogue.
I think the bigger issue is that Rogue just realized much faster than Mark did that Mark's position wasn't that important.
I mean, Rogue made it not that important is the beautiful thing. And it's because of the connector, or rather, I keep saying connector, I'm not sure why. It's because of the 90 window repel.
It was also because Foxy got picked off early, so Rogue could afford a body to essentially tie up Mark, which put Reciprocity in a 4v3. Or, well, a 3v4, rather, if you go from their perspective. And
yeah, that early pick onto Foxy downstairs was really quite interesting. He's kind of holding firm on, I want to roam by main stairs. It's not an easy position to play.
He's got himself surrounded by goo mines, and he's going to be in the exact same position Foxy is down by those main stairs. Slash back on this window repel, and he's going to soften up the desk, but not a single point of damage is going to be done to anybody playing over there. This could get particularly hairy for Slash as his head is exposed. And, well, that's just one shot, and Slash is essentially done for.
Sees the foot of an opponent. Can't land enough shots to make it worth, though. And what a beautiful shot onto Mark, and Eclipse gets 2!
Is this just Reciprocity pushing a little bit too aggressively to try and slow Rogue down? But Laxing has also taken a beating in the interim. So half of the round has gone by, and it's a 5v2 favoring Rogue right now. This is not impossible, especially when you've still got a smoke on the board. Keep in mind that if you play those tight angles with a shotgun, very easy to pick up a 2-piece. But the question is going to be, how do you utilize that smoke? Because Retro is going to lose a lot of safety here with all of his reinforcements around him blowing open. Double hard breach combo coming out from Rogue. But both Slash and Eclipse have lost a little bit of HP. This isn't unheard of. But oh no, Retro gives his position away. He dives out through the door, hits an air jab, and he'll fumble one of the remote gas grenades. He'll huck one out and wait to see if the Thermite will push on into it, as he's going to have to do triple duty at this point, watching multiple angles, and there's another air jab. Retro will get capitalized on, and, well, it's all in the hands of Laxing in a 1v5. Commando's not quite the gun that you necessarily want in this instance. Rogue full site control. Laxing will have to retake, and the diffuser will go down quite successfully. Easily, who's done his job, not just in terms of kills, but also in terms of utility, will leave 75 HP for Laxing, but he's just going to hide downstairs, waste some time, buy out that diffuser, and then let his team talk about how they recover, as now it looks almost certainly like Rogue will go up 2-0.
Yep. This is just a tactical pause here, essentially, from Laxing. He's trying to use all this time allow his team to think about what they want to do next. Smart. It'll result in a perfect round likely for Rogue, though, and a great execution there. Really got to hand it to them. The Reciprocity Aviator defense is being very well countered by Rogue's attack round by round. And I would imagine at this point, Reciprocity are going to switch up to Trophy. You can expect that. Maybe a Kitchen if they want to do something a little bit wild, but not too crazy these days. I mean, heck, we could see Lounge. Lounge is also a site that some teams are leaning heavily towards, but not Aviator. Pretty sure not Aviator at this point for Reciprocity. They're going to likely make a change. Oh, I really hope. Okay.
Or, there you go.
There we go.
So they'll lock in Trophy and go to another site after realizing that bashing their head against a wall for 2 rounds in a row is worthy of a change for round number 3.
Solid no bueno.
The other thing, too, with Rogue is it just needs to be paid to them, the compliment that they just stood and waited. They didn't try to hunt down Laxing. Nobody really seemed to move that far off of their mark. They all just sat around where they needed to. It's a 1v5. Worse teams and less mature teams would definitely try to pick that fight and maybe reduce it to a 1v3, a 1v4. But for Rogue, you just need to wait.
I do think it's... if I were Rogue, if I were in Rogue's position right now, I would just be kind of sick of it. I know a lot of teams are like, okay, for example, Evil Geniuses, they made it to so many finals and they've not won so many finals. But then with Rogue, it's just... there's so much potential, man. There's so much potential. And I think what we're seeing right now over those last 2 rounds were some very refined, well-orchestrated attack strategies from Rogue. And you can't forget to pay credit to that, because winning on attack on Villa is not an easy thing. It takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of team synergy, and you really got to give credit to Rogue for standing up and making that happen. Not sure why he broke the window and then put a window and then prepped it. Maybe accidental melee on the wrong panel.
Also could be sound.
Yeah, I mean,
if you break the glass panel on the other side, it makes it easier to hear. I'm not sure. That could be their thinking here, but
actually, that's way more now after the last update. So you're like, it's not even a little bit; it's a crazy amount now.
So a couple things worth mentioning here. Number 1, Rogue is up 2-0 on attack on Villa. That is uncommon. And on top of that, there's only 2 kills on the board for Reciprocity through 2 rounds. And they're both in the hands of Laxing.
It's also important to note that it's not just up 2 rounds, but it's up 2 rounds on one of the default sites.
Yep.
That's a huge advantage to have if you're Rogue.
It's not even like you won because they went to Kitchen or they went to the living room library site downstairs. They're going to sites that, you anticipate that the defenders are going to win. And I think that speaks to the way that Rogue has been playing. And because Rogue has this abundance of both soft and hard destruction, you see that there are breaching charge being brought in the hands of Vertical's Nomad, alongside the fact that you've got 3 bouts of X-Karos and then 2 exothermic charges. There's no universe where you're going to need to use all of those on reinforced walls. So what can Hibana do? Take out the castle barricades. You know that there's going to be a castle on the board for Rec most rounds. They love the operator. They play him quite a bit. Bring that soft destruction here. So, where is Rogue going to attack from first? They've been able to walk on up and take out that double-door castle barricade as it looks like they might now be rotating over towards the master side of things. Taking control of Astro is going to be an important part of this push because Mark is sitting in a position on that desk where he can cover that anybody going in that direction. And oh no! Slash just doesn't drone. And Retro's in a position where he's able to capitalize off of it. And that's an easy entry that is added to with now Eclipse falling and Reciprocity being very aggressive here. And things seemingly going very well in their favor.
I mean, aggressive, yes, but also a lack of information gathering on the side of Rogue is what's costing them here. Easily will take down Foxay, so that's a really good refrag, but it's very delayed. 50 seconds left. Rogue still in a decent position. They just haven't gotten control of Master, and that's very problematic when executing onto Trophy Statuary. Decent positions here again. Shuttle is going to be, I think, one of the more important players on the side of Rogue right now, as he has to shine on that Master take.
Vertical's entry might be stopped a little bit both by a goo mine as well as the toxic canister going out, and some of this pressure that Rogue is trying to alleviate now by opening up a small portion of the reinforced walls. But despite the fact there are 4 people alive for Reciprocity, easily attempts to get the diffuser down, and it's completely free. Rogue will be able to walk away with a very successful diffuser, and as the vault comes in, it's easily to pick up kill number 2. He's just going to sit in a position watching this deployable shield with air jabs going off. Skies has been down, Mark taking an awful lot of damage, and it's basically going to come down to Retro. But Shuttle's outside. Vertical takes out the remainder of Skies as he was downed. Mark is one bullet away. Oh, there goes Retro. And a position for Reciprocity that seemed unlosable has gone completely in the favor of Rogue. And it will be a complete and utter collapse from Reciprocity. And Rogue will take their third round in a row.
Wow, I just have to say that was a beautiful strat there from Rogue. I would call that a minimalist strat because they had so few tools after losing 2 players early on into the round, and they still made it work. They didn't even need to take Master. The Habana X Karos holes were the star of the show there, and they needed to be from Shuttle. Like I said, Shuttle had to perform above and beyond, and he didn't land the shots on the crosses. We can critique him for that, but at the same time, opening those holes denied rotation from Astro and Trophy into Statuary, and because there was one more player in the main hall to allow for the Thermite to push into Statuary and plant, the flank watch was up. The flank watch managed to get 1 kill. I believe that was Vertical doing that, while Easily went in for the plant, and Shuttle covered the main rotation in Statuary. And again, just the presence of the holes denied the rotation from Team Reciprocity, which meant there was no way for them to deny that plant. A beautiful execution there from Rogue, and a well-deserved round.
A big part of their lack of coverage as well on that A site is there are no information ops. The only operator that you could call an information operator would possibly be Legion. Keep in mind that Castle has access to a bulletproof camera should he want to use it, but it's impact grenades that are being brought out in this place because you're going to want them for the most part. I mean, you do have some remodeling going on with both the Smoke and the Kaid, but Kaid could be bringing impacts, and so could the Legion. Information seems to be the name of the game right now for Reciprocity, as they were able to capitalize off of Rogue having low information and the entry that we saw from Retro, and then, well, now it looks like Rec is in a position where they're going to be the ones that are going to need some kind of utility to figure out where Rogue is coming from.
Okay, so one little change I really want to point out here, because I feel like it's really important for Reciprocity, is they have shifted where they place their shield in the site. So in the last round, the shield... oh, I like that air job. In the last round, the shield was placed in the doorway from Astro to Statuary. This time, it's placed in front of the doorway, which means instead of having to vault in order to rotate into Statuary, you can simply run in. This was done because the shuttle cutoff on the rotation was so effective from Master, and now it won't be effective.
Additionally, Laxing vaulted over that deployable shield right into the sights of Easily, and you know how vulnerable you can be when you're vaulting and or repelling. So
exactly. Good job on Reciprocity to make that change.
A small change, and it actually looks like Vertical might be able to see the head of Mark here playing on the desk inside of Astro. At least to us, it certainly appeared quite obvious.
If he drones it out, maybe he'll get some more information, but as soon as Vertical spots Mark, Mark's gonna drop.
And this is a very powerful position for Foxay to play. On their belly, different members of Rogue trying to see if they can out-duel the Kaid, but he's going to have an ACOG at his disposal, so the range will work in favor of both teams. Just waiting to see if Rogue can try to pull off something similar, but Foxay is going to be the only thing that stops Rogue right now from being able to waltz right into A and pull the same thing off they were doing prior. Additionally, if Skies can hold on to his toxic canisters a little longer, then that's going to bode quite well for them. In the meantime, Eclipse has taken an awful lot of damage. Rogue have more bodies alive than they did previously. As you can hear, once again, Foxay gets droned out, and nobody seems to be challenging the Kaid at all. He still has an Electric Claw at his disposal, and he's got impact grenades, so he can possibly trick the wall. He'll toss an Electric Claw down, knowing that the utility's been taken away from an EMP, and in walks Eclipse and sit down. Oh! Foxay goes for 2 huge kills and looks for another as he sees the head of the Habana, but he cannot connect on the shuttle. Diffuser down and right in their sights. This definitely appears like Reciprocity are poised to be able to walk away with their first round.
Rogue's still in this, but it's a flank as well from Reciprocity, and that's Laxing out there. Slash will get one onto Mark in sight, but still the problem of Foxay and Statuary, who goes down to shuttle, and Vertical gets Laxing on the flank. It's just Retro and Skies quickly falls, leaving just the castle inside of Astro. Retro's got 2 lit opponents, but the plant is going down. He needs to deny this with only 15 seconds left. This could clutch the round. He gets 1, and not the planter. Vertical, a beautiful shot, and Rogue, another amazing recovery.
At what point do you reach critical junction for Reciprocity, where you need something? What do you do at this point? Everything is breaking. Nothing seems to be working, and Rogue seems to be ahead of you every single way. I spoke too soon. I said that this definitely seemed like a round that Reciprocity couldn't lose. They had almost everything going in their favor. And what happened? Well, there was a great counterpunch from Rogue. They walked in, they got 2 very early picks. They also managed to pick up Laxing on the roam as Vertical is doing an extraordinary job on that Nomad. And now Reciprocity lose control of the site. You put a lot of faith in the hands of the UMP. It's not going to go anywhere. And Rec, after trying another site for 2 rounds, will be forced to go somewhere else. 2 attempts on Aviator games, proving unsuccessful. 2 attempts on Trophy Statuary, proving unsuccessful. Go down to the kitchen, and you know that old saying, throwing everything but the kitchen sink? They are literally going to be throwing the kitchen sink at this one in hopes of being able to bounce back and put their first round on the board.
Maybe third time's the charm here, but Reciprocity certainly struggling. And I don't think it necessarily comes down to Reciprocity playing poorly as much as it does to Rogue playing exceptionally well. This is the Rogue that we've all been hoping and expecting to see for quite a long time. That these executions on Villa have been really well put together. There were a few mistakes and hiccups made by Rogue in that 3rd round when they were first attacking onto Trophy, where we had a couple, unnecessary vaults without droning, without information, pushing into Reciprocity and giving away free kills. But apart from that, Rogue have been pretty much stellar. And, well, if you're a Rogue fan, you can only hope that this is going to continue. Though, again, attacking onto Kitchen, very different here. See the side entrance door being opened up there, or the art door, as some would call it, by Fox, who has been really tearing it up on that shotgun DMR for Kaid. It's an excellent weapon in the right hands, and Fox A's hands are certainly correct. So, I love this airdrop. Again, on the top of main stairs. Cut off that rotation. Just don't need to worry about it anymore.
Both Vertical and Shuttle have been extraordinary in this game.
Oh, yeah?
Shuttle in particular, you said needed to show up a couple rounds ago. I think he showed up in every round so far. And,
yes.
well, whether it's on the scoreboard or not, it just seems like the leadership that's being provided by the plays of both Shuttle as well as Vertical. This reminds me of a lot of the teams where even when you're down by 1 or 2, you still have 1 or 2 players that are capable of winning a 1vx or a 2vx, and that seems to be the way that Rogue is playing this one. A lot of investment, though, upstairs inside of what appears to be Trophy and maybe even Astro, and it's going to work out. Laxing picks off Eclipse, so your EMP is down. Now Foxe going fishing inside of Art down below, looking for a possible play outside, but there's nobody there from Rogue who's going to be in a position to possibly be greeted. What a beautiful toss, though. And Skies will eliminate Slash's vertical refrags onto Mark. And once again, for the 3rd round in a row, Reciprocity have a lead, and it's looking good for them.
But will it be enough? Because, as you said, for the 3rd round in a row, and Rogue are up 4-0. So this is if history holds true, this is a good position for Rogue to find themselves in, as much as that is odd. A nice angle being opened here by Avert, and he's going to see straight into sight from the top floor. Easily has control of top Astro, and ultimately the goal of Rogue is achieved. They have top floor control, which is very important. From this, they can do a lot. Shuttles, Excaros, though, will likely be denied by the player at the bottom of the stairs, or even just from anyone playing inside of that pantry. It's going to be an angle that won't happen for Shuttle, and one I'm sure Rogue were expecting to have.
Vertical's now knocking at the door. He'll take down Skies. There's going to be likely some goo mines in his way. He's got some soft destruction to walk on in. Down goes Laxing as he runs out, and Eclipse's Claymore will do the trick, even though Eclipse isn't even on the board. Now we have, once again, a lead for Rogue in terms of man count. Waiting for the smoke to appear around the corner. Retro's down! And Reciprocity have lost the plot for 5 rounds in a row, 3 of which should have very easily fallen inside of the win column, and Rogue very miraculously turning these rounds around.
It's Villa defense. It's Villa defense, Parker. These are rounds that, yes, these are Reciprocity rounds. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I saw the first 2 rounds go to Rogue on Aviator, and I was like, wow, that's a defense half won. Good job, Rogue. Just the first 2 rounds. Then they won a trophy round, and I was like, whoa, all right. Rogue have the half. That's 3-3. You end a 3-3 on attacking side in one of the splits, and you're happy place. Absolute happy place. A 5-0. Oh boy. Well, Rogue are in a good way right now. This is a next level Rogue. I love to see it. It's been a while since we have. But well-earned rounds, well-executed attacks, some holes in the Reciprocity defenses. causing some problems.
I mean, worst case scenario, Rogue is going to emerge up 5-1 on attack on Villain. But is this wacky world? Are we going to see Reciprocity start to run it up on attack?
I mean, it's happened before.
It's absolutely happened before.
Yeah, it could be that. Well, we'll find out when we get there. I mean, it looks like it's, what, trophy for the last site? Okay. Third time's a charm, hopefully, if you're a Reciprocity fan.
I mean, you got to imagine you're not going to see a flawless side.
Yeah.
When was the last time we saw a flawless side?
It's been a while, Parker.
It's been a very long time, at least nothing that jumps out to me. It might have been that, what was it, the Chaos game where they came back? They were down 5-0 and they came back and won at 7-5?
Maybe. Didn't catch it myself. Gonna have to check it later, but it's been a while for me, at least.
I'd have to go very far back to see it.
Yeah. Well, Rogue, right now, finding themselves in a very comfortable position on Villa, 5-0. Just wow. And all off the backs of some really well-orchestrated attack rounds. You know, as much as it is, sure, to an extent, Reciprocity making some mistakes, I do believe that this is much more just good execution, good teamwork from Rogue, and a distinct lack of panic is something that really stands out. At no point does it seem like Rogue has lost control. They lose 2 players, and they're just like, yeah, we're doing fine with 3. It's okay.
So, if you recall, there happened to be a 7-0 in Milan from a certain team called Empire over a certain team called Fnatic.
That's right.
Then in Pro League, you go back to the Penta Chaos matchup where, indeed, Chaos won 7 in a row to beat Penta 7-5.
That was still a decent amount of time.
That was European Playday number 9.
Yeah.
We're talking about months ago.
And Milan was, yeah, it was more recent in terms of actual total play days, but in terms of time, it's still a decent
Even
amount.
Milan was a month and a half ago.
Yeah, exactly.
We're almost in July.
We had a large break between Milan and the start of the season.
Yeah. So, for Rogue, they're doing the exact same thing they've done time and time again. It's at a classical hall, watching all the way down to Trophy, possibly being able to see somebody playing around an Astro. Vertical knows there's a body there because he's going to see the bullet tracers go whizzing by his head, but he doesn't commit to the fight. He's holding to see if somebody's going to peek around the deer. And there's going to be nobody. Nobody from Reciprocity has been able to dive on the opening kill, which is what's happened for a lot of rounds for Reciprocity to give them that advantage. And for the time being, oh no! It's going to be a run out from Retro as he thinks he has the information on Shuttle, but won't be able to do too much with it at all. Shuttle's going to be able to grab that kill very impressively and then continue to move on. Laxing does find Slash, who was downstairs, so there's some of that off-site play for Reciprocity working very well together.
This could be another free kill for Shuttle if he plays it right. He knows about his opponent, and he gets it through the window. Probably a mark from his teammate. Easily going to get one on the entry, but this is Reciprocity fighting back. We come down to a 2-on-2, and Shuttle again needs to shine on that master take. A solo master take, and he'll cut off the rotation. But Laxing from below might be able to deny thanks to the information that wasn't present in previous rounds. Great job on the Valkyrie cam, but Shuttle's still alive, and he has site control. He's going to go for the frag, but Laxing wins it out. A beautiful pistol kill from Laxing, a round that Reciprocity nearly lost, but finally managed to get, and the final defensive round of the first half.
It was played very well by both teams. Now, Laxing doing a great job with the Valkyrie cameras to be able to give the information to the rest of their team and then have the C4 from below and then spray through the floor as well in conjunction with Mark pushing out from Astro. It was the right call from Shuttle to take the fight on the stairs. You know that you have to take that fight. You know they're coming. Somebody on the team likely heard Laxing shoot the Claymore out, and you don't have enough time. In a 1v1, you're going to be vulnerable. Because of the fact that Laxing was shooting at you through the floor, you know there's a Valkyrie camera somewhere watching you. And because of this, you just got to win on frags alone. Shuttle wasn't quick enough to the draw, and Laxing is somebody who doesn't often lose a lot of 1v1s, and the final 5 seconds ended up coming down to that. But I still really like the way that Rogue was able to play that round. It came down to a split-second decision that very easily could have been a flawless round. Or a flawless first half, even.
Very near to that. And I do think that the star of the show was the Valkyrie on Laxing's side. The fact that Laxing was able to not only deny the plant, but also gather so much information was what allowed Reciprocity the freedom to commit to 2 aggressive plays on Master. And you know, a lot of people would say, oh, Reciprocity brain dead plays for holding on to aggressive, holding on to Master so aggressively. But it was actually, I'm sure, very calculated, because what has been the problem for Reciprocity every time they hold Trophy? Well, it's been Shuttle tearing apart that master wall, cutting off rotations inside a statuary, and then just coming for a late flank that ends up winning the round. And it very nearly was Shuttle to clutch it out again, despite the focus placed on master, but at least Reciprocity were trying to adjust into the problem, and they did manage to win the round despite losing those 2 players. Those 2 players did their job. They didn't get the kill, but they did their job. And good job to Shuttle for picking him off, but at the same time, not enough elsewhere from Rogue, and no perfect half.
Tantalizingly close, though.
I know. So close.
So very close. But this is an opportunity as well to maybe build some momentum on Reciprocity's side. You managed to win a round that, hey, you might have lost. And in fact, that round looked like it was going more in Rogue's favor than the 3 previous rounds.
It's true.
You basically steal one away at that point. So maybe you trade out some good luck for bad luck. Rogue is going to be under some pressure now as Dokebi's first logic bomb goes out, and Rogue's going to collapse on into the site. Everybody maneuvers backwards as Reciprocity will take this opportunity to drone. See, there's 2 bodies down below, and Laxing will try to work alongside the drones of his team to be able to find one of them. It's Eclipse in this position, who himself will have information at hand, that cardiac sensor, just to be able to spot the heartbeats of anybody around him. And because of this, and because of some covering fire possibly that Vert will be able to provide on the stairs, this might give Eclipse a bit of an opportunity to stay alive a little while longer.
No. Mark has been lit up on this balcony despite opening up the wall. A little bit of payment there for that control. Eclipse playing on the Pulse instead of what we saw from Reciprocity, which was, I believe it was Foxay on the Legion roaming down here, is going to be more information but less defense. Retro's going to get the first pick here. That's vertical goes down in sight thanks to those holes. But what an angle from easily and well-placed shots. Foxay goes down. That's Nomad. Any air jabs that aren't already placed, no longer going to be in play, and that's a very big piece of utility to just get rid of.
Last logic bomb goes out as well, so the only player right now that has any real possible utility on the board is going to be Skies in that Zofia. But that remains to be seen. Retro finds a second kill, and there's a third for Retro. Skies rushes on in. Down he goes. Easily is watching the doorway and now maneuvers over to a second position. Can't take out Laxing. The DMR will be too much to handle. And they'll be all up to Slash, just watching inside of the vault. He's got 3 bodies to go up against. He'll take Mark down. There wasn't much HP there. Retro's very low too, so it's only Laxing that he's really going to have to tussle with. But Slash exposes himself for just a second. Down goes Retro, and it's essentially a 1v1 on the diffuser. Slash will need to try to find some cover with 15 seconds, but no! Another miraculous round for Laxing, who pulls a rabbit out of a hat twice. And it's this individual performance, as the 2 rounds that Rogue have now lost in a row have come down to 1v1s, with Reciprocity getting the better of them. And they'll set us up for round number 8, with Reciprocity looking to try to tilt this map back in their favor.
Laxing barely, followed by Laxing barely, and a beautiful clutch there. In the end, it looked like it might have been Slashug to win it out after he got that gas canister kill. He probably could have, too. Attempted to make a rotation to study, but it was just too long of an angle, as the Dokkaebi was already pushing past pool table at that point. Overall, though, Rogue would have had that round quite easily had they not given away 3 picks to Retro quite early in that whole attack. And I'm sure that that's probably what's on their mind right now. Maybe a little bit of a shift will change things. Still Thatcher in play, which means the Bandit's not going to be amazingly useful unless he actively tricks. And in order to actively trick on this site, you have to have somebody hold that hallway on the north side, which is not an easy task to accomplish as a defender on this site. Unless you have an extended roam, but again, it's still risky. You have to worry about the red stairs. Anyway, it's a whole strategy that Rogue would have to, pivot around. Instead, usually teams will go for impact tricking, which didn't work out for Rogue last time, but maybe they can make a change here and start denying those walls being opened up. Because the walls being opened up forced the rotations from Rogue, which allowed for the picks from Retro, which opened up the round for Reciprocity. So, just some slight changes need to be made there. Though, it did seem like a pretty dominant round overall. An attempted comeback from Rogue, but not enough.
The door is wide open for Reciprocity with the way they've played over those last 2 rounds, but it's come down to the wire on both of them. As we said, those 1v1s, which really could have gone either way. When you're put in a 50-50 spot like that, this could have very easily been a 7-0 had Rogue just landed their shots.
Yeah.
Without any utility, any interference, etc. But it's like I said, it's hard to beat Laxing in a 1v1. In this instance, I don't exactly know why Retro was in a position for easily to be able to pick him off.
Or was that? I mean, balcony or downstairs?
Maybe.
Oh, repel?
Oh,
He was
that
on
is... And,
it was on repel.
and easily came around the corner swinging, and now what is that going to do? That's your Thatcher. No EMPs. You're not going to be able to get those hard walls inside of Study.
I mean, you just won't be able to get them open either at all. There's no Twitch. The best you can hope for is Sophia downstairs, maybe?
Yeah, you use the lifeline and shoot the floor, the ceiling, and then get the bandit batteries from below. But I mean,
Not ideal.
it's probably, that's probably not the position you're going to want to find yourself in. I mean, you could do a Jackal in a pinch, and oh no, the Valkyria shuttle just gets a little too close to the sun, and Mark able to get a very early kill for his team. 1 minute and 20 seconds into the round for an entry on a Hibana. And Mark is going to have some tough work to do here because he's not going to be able to get the walls inside of Study, as we noted, because there's no Thatcher. And those shock wires are just going to continue in the positions that they're in. And I don't think Reciprocity knows exactly what they want to do just yet. It looks like the play is going to be to go somewhere down 90 Hall. You can't push down 90 Hall as the dock of Eclipse because there's an air jab there. A Kumine gets tossed out, and Fox A will find Eclipse, so the dock is not going to be able to play too much. It appears that Shuttle's been able to grab that air jab from above him as the second lifeline will go off, or the logic bomb goes off here. Needing to see if somebody's going to be able to play around the doorway. Rogue is very comfortable in a position playing from behind, and they will have to do so in this round. With a minute left to go, they find themselves in a 3v4 against Rec.
Well, still manageable here for Reciprocity, but they've got a lot of really difficult angles to push, and that's the complication. Rogue have the easiest hold of their life if they play it correctly, and a double up on this door is going to allow for a down, but a kill from Laxing and another onto Slash. He's just absolutely tearing it up. Laxing, the star of the show right now for Reciprocity, but a nice flank. Oh, nearly was enough for Vertical, but hey, who is it again? Laxing shuts this round down. Reciprocity were not in an easy spot there, but this man just cannot be eliminated.
He will not die.
He will not.
Reciprocity will not die, and knocking on the door of match point for 5 consecutive rounds. Now it's Rec putting 3 together, and it's been almost a completely attacker-sided affair. Through 8 rounds, we've only seen 1 defensive victory.
Yeah, it's been an interesting match of Villa. I would have assumed this would be the point at which Rogue decides to change their site, but not so. They are going to go to Aviator once more onto the breach, dear friends. Once more. I don't know if that's the right call. But
It'd be worth watching. I mean, we said for Rec that it was worth going somewhere else. I think the same thing applies to Rogue in this instance. I would have preferred if they had gone somewhere else, but
it is what it is. Now, again, that last round pretty much boils down to Laxing for several different reasons. He managed to not only get all 3 of the last kills, but also cut off the pressure that was applied by that north hallway onto the B bomb site, and that's essential. And here's why. None of the walls got opened up because the Thatcher got picked off earlier and easily was allowed to just place his bandit batteries and be like, oh, no, that's all I need to do. Done. Easy. So if it had been that the smoke were not placed to deny the north hallway pressure, then Rogue would have been able to easily hold on to the B-bomb site. Following that, I am sure that we would have seen Team Reciprocity lose 1 or 2 players in the attempt, and then so little time, so little manpower, Rogue probably would have been able to lock that out quite easily. But Laxing just stood up and said, no, I'm going to take this round. With the smoke placement, the cover on the plant, the last 3 kills, just beautiful plays.
safe to say if it wasn't for Laxing, this game would have been over already.
Yes, he won 3 rounds in a row now. It actually, individually, you could say.
I could say that the last round was more of a team effort.
Yes, but he won 2 1v1s in a row, and then he got the last 3 kills just now, as well as cutting off the pressure from North Hallway, which is huge.
The man just walked into sight and decided to take no prisoners, and because of this, he's renewed Reciprocity. Retro's not going to die early on, as there might be some bandit tricking here, but it appears that Retro will just storm up to the doorway that connects the site to Study, put down a Claymore so nobody can wander on out. Obviously, very worried about what might happen from the bandit that had been able to get his number last time.
Some really efficient use of the Thatcher here. He has just managed to get at least 2, maybe 3 batteries, which is pretty decent, all things considered, and it's going to allow Mark some freedom when it comes to, oh, wow, this guys can taste it.
He knows he's there, so you've been able to isolate Eclipse. Just wait and possibly see if there's going to be a lifeline that goes off here, or a logic bomb, rather. I don't know why I keep calling it the same way.
Nah, it's hard to discern.
They're both on the board. There's a lifeline right now in the hands of the Sophia! and say goodbye to the Doc. That's an opening gambit from Rec that pays off. They'll grab 2 for their troubles as Slash also eliminated. You've lost your Smoke and your Doc. This is not looking good for the defenders here on Villa, which isn't really what we expect to see. It's bucking the trend for the time being.
Abruptly, the tables have turned in this match, and it does seem like Reciprocity has taken full control. The attackers, clearly the favored sign, or rather side, in this particular matchup. Foxay is going to get easily, so now it's a 2v5 from a 3v5. Things are looking even more desperate for Rogue. Now, there's only 40 seconds left, so this is a possible denial, but as that happens, Shuttle will not be able to get a single kill, leaving Vertical in an ace clutch situation. He could do it. He's managed to take down Skies in the hallway. Plant going down, and it is successful. Foxay gets the final kill, and there you go, Reciprocity. Oh boy. One defense win. One defense win, guys.
And we are almost tied up. Inconceivable. At the end of that 5th round, I'm thinking, we got ourselves a quick game. All right, we'll get ready for SSG TSM.
That's what I thought.
I don't know how much longer this is going to go on for. And just like that, it's tightened up in a hurry. 3 tries on Aviator for Rogue, none of which are successful. So you go to Trophy Statuary. Might have been a sight too late, because the last 2 rounds for Rec looked far more decisive than the 2 rounds previously. Keep in mind, rounds 6 and 7, they both came through in the sense that it was a 1v1. Rec have looked much better through rounds 8 and 9, and now on round 10. Rogue is going to have to find something, because right now, the wind is at the sails of Reciprocity, and they are just cruising.
I don't know what to say. The defense being in the ill-favored side is just odd on Villa, but we've seen these phenomenon before on other maps, in other matchups with other teams, where you would expect the defense to be winning or expect the attack to be winning. It goes the other way. Such is Siege. We're going to see a Mira brought for the first time, despite her not being banned on Villa. So that's quite interesting. On the trophy setup here for Rogue, heavy investment in the Mira. No Twitch on the board, which means the Mira will be much more potent. Though there is a Habana, and that will be something that Rogue has to contest with. You can expect Eclipse to likely bandit trick the Mira window wall in sight. He's going to pre-place one of his batteries here on the Roamer Mira window over by Aviator. So it'll be a heavy investment in the roam on the south side here from Rogue in an attempt to trip up Reciprocity. So the tricky thing about that south side roam on this map is that, yes, you can do it, but in doing so, you don't necessarily always guarantee yourself anything control-wise. This is a really nice angle from Laxing, by the way, just a quick sidestep, because the attack can just push in through Master. I mean, you isolate roamers when you take from Master. You don't have to clear anything, and there's the kill that Laxing was fishing for. Easily gives a free one away, and Rogue have been doing that quite a lot on their defensive half.
Man, you got to give a lot of credit to both of these teams. When Rogue was on attack, they looked like they were a well-oiled machine, and Reciprocity had no idea where they were coming from. I think you can say very similarly about Rogue on defense. But Rogue is not bringing a shortage of info ops. They've been running Valkyrie a couple rounds. They've got a bulletproof camera on the dock. Now they brought the Mira as well, the Hands of Slash. So you've got tools at which you can see the enemies coming from a greater distance away than you had in the previous rounds. And yet, you still lose somebody early on. Fox is going to enter on up and expecting a possible push as he has to pull the Gooman out of his foot. He's going to send down an air jab. Just waiting patiently as you have a logic bomb going off. Waiting to see if anybody from Rogue is going to get spotted in this instance. Both Foxay as well as Mark are in positions to possibly be able to outduel the Mira, and the Vector will just graze over the head, blowing the deployable shield out from under him. Down goes Slash, and Eclipse can't do much to try and keep his teammate alive. That's 2 for Reciprocity. Even though Mark is taking quite a bit of damage, it's another one for Mark, and he's going to go for a third. He'll grab it. He's in a position now to walk on in, and it's an almost flawless round, and it is actually a flawless round as Laxing starts things off, finish things off, and Reciprocity have tied the game.
5 rounds in a row, followed by 5 rounds in a row. So it seems like Rogue feel like Aviator was a better site. That's going to be their 4th time going to Aviator. Not somewhere they felt very comfortable or seemingly felt very comfortable, but better than Trophy, I would say. That Trophy defense was torn apart by Reciprocity. And again, it was the extended roam from Rogue that was effectively worthless because Reciprocity just didn't clear the roamers. They just decided, you know what? Nah, let's just hit site. And it worked. Because it can quite easily work on that site. You just have to play your cards right. And, well, Reciprocity did that. Good execution. Most of it centered around Astro. Love the use of the air jabs on the Nomad. That was the thing that we were seeing a lot from Slash when Slash was playing Nomad. Those aggressive air jabs to push you out of your position and force the kill. Slash was going to hold down that Astro. He had the shield. He was in a great spot. He was going to hold that position. But the air jab said no. Well, Rogue find themselves, I'm sure, in a, I would say probably the strongest feeling on Rogue right now is disappointment. That's probably what's going on the most. If you're a Rogue fan and if you're just playing for Rogue right this second. On the other hand, Reciprocity, since they're the second team to make it to 5 points or 5 rounds, their confidence, I would say, is probably what they're feeling.
This has been a hell of a game.
Yeah, it has been.
Watching the back and forth emerge between these two, and I mean, how incredible would it be if this ends up in a draw for both of these teams? But for the time being, it seems like Rec has all the momentum.
Yeah, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if this was a draw. I mean, I could see Rogue winning one defensive round and then Reciprocity getting another attack round, and then it being pretty much the same for both teams. Would make sense. I
mean, you got a fourth crack at Aviator here, and 3 of them haven't worked.
Yeah, this could be the moment where Rogue steps up and finally wins for Aviator, or we could just be saying, yeah, Aviator's not a good site. They shouldn't have gone there again. But so far, Reciprocity committing heavily to clearing the roamers this time, which is a little bit different for them, though it is Aviator. And no Mira being brought on Aviator, as, you know, if you bring that Mira on this site and you lose the Mira windows, you could lose the round really easily. Mark's going to take down Slash, so there you go. Smoke of all operators gone.
Very curious as to see where Slash was positioned here, so Mark could get that opening frag. And to possibly get a body on the stairs as they hear the calls, and there's going to be a vault down, but Vertical does the work he needs to, but Mark is there to trade him off, and now you got both Skies and Laxing situated next to each other. Easley's position is going to give away. He's going to have to swing wide, but there's nobody inside a study. It's going to be a push from the opposite side. So, Rogue, not the greatest pick as to where they need to go.
Plant going down.
Nobody seems to be the wiser, easily losing the fight to Skies, and Eclipse gets dropped. Shuttle will have to break out from below, and both members of Rogue are on the bottom floor as it's a successful plant for Reciprocity. And oh my, this has gone from bad to worse for Rogue so far. This is going to be 6 rounds in a row. Flashbacks to the Team 1 Ints game earlier today, which was a 7-0 victory. Both Rogue as well, both members of Rogue, both Eclipse and Shuttle are going to need to enter through the stairs and come on up, but Skies is watching one angle, and he'll get them both. A pair for his troubles. 6 rounds in a row for Reciprocity with the diffuser down, and that one wasn't anywhere near as close as the scoreline would have suggested. It's match point for Reciprocity.
Okay, so Rogue either stands up now or Reciprocity will have 7 rounds in a row and they will earn 3 points for the troubles.
This is incredible.
Yeah, but I see the draw. I see the draw here. That's what I'm predicting. But heck, the way that this has been playing out, anything is possible. Really. Trophy defense. No kitchen attempt, no lounge attempt from Rogue. They're going to stick to their guns. Trophy was very unsuccessful the last time Rogue went here, but now they're fighting in a corner.
Dare I say it, that both teams on defense, their strats have looked as well cooked as that burger that Foxay posted.
Yeah.
Or made earlier on Twitter.
Not cooked at all.
And I don't know what they fed Laxing, but it certainly wasn't that.
Yeah. I mean, well, something good, because he's been performing above and beyond. Again, we can say with confidence that if it were not for Laxing, Reciprocity would have lost. Oh, look! Let me look here. 6 rounds ago. No, 6-7 rounds ago if you count this one right here. So.
And yet I feel like this is going to be a draw. I feel like it's going to be a draw. I just feel like
the draw
at this
too.
Point, that Rec is so close that it's just it has to end with Rogue finally winning the round on defense
and then
to put everything in perfect balance.
And then kicking themselves because they didn't get 3 points.
Yeah.
And they can't. They can't get 3 points now. It's done. That ship has sailed. First 5 rounds go to Rogue. They can't get 3 points.
Could you imagine after that first, heading into the 6th round, you're like, no, this will be a quick one. Nope.
It looked like it was going to be for so long. I mean, oh boy. Anyway, let's just see what happens here because it's still anyone's game. Well, I mean, it's anyone's draw or Reciprocity's win, but you know, Vertical on a very, very deep roam, and he is actually confronted here by an opponent who is droning for him. That's Laxing.
Laxing could possibly be caught off guard, and if you manage to take Laxing out of action very early, something that Rogue has struggled to do, I don't even know if Laxing has actually died in this half yet.
He's been on a tear. I don't know.
I don't know if Laxing has died in this half yet, but he's going to come out.
Oh, the phone call.
Vertical's position is going to be given away right away, and he just misses Laxing as he comes on in, but Vertical has the information, and he'll take Laxing down. A sigh of relief will assuredly come out of the body of Rogue, as they've taken one of the most potent forces that Reciprocity had at their disposal off of the field.
Yeah, the Dokkaebi not only Laxing, but the Dokkaebi as an operator actually has been a huge force for Reciprocity, and not having the Dokkaebi anymore is going to slow down and hurt this Reciprocity attack, that's for sure. An excellent shot from Mark onto Easily, who is just playing the corner of that shield, and with that we will have Astro opened up. But big difference here, Mirror Window, instead of on a roam, is holding Astro. Fox able to take down Vertical, though, so Reciprocity in a good position with a one-man advantage.
Just waiting very patiently. That Mirror Window doesn't appear to have any denial behind it, so you're going to be able to get those X-Karos down quite easily. One of the air jabs go off as well, so Reciprocity will be wise to one of the 3 remaining members of Rogue and where they might be positioned. There's another air jab that could go down for Fox as he looks left and then heads right. He can just walk right in, get a very free kill, but no! Eclipse will walk away. A great shot from the Bandit. And he's got 50 HP for his troubles, but he'll be able to take one member down, and it's a 3v3. A slash from below takes out Retro, and now Rogue appear to be in the driver's seat on this round, barreling forward towards a draw, and you'll see the shotgun come out. Down goes Mark. Sky's on 1 HP. Finally, Rogue will win a round, and they'll get 1 point. Had they done so earlier on in this game, we could see a completely different story. But that's going to be it for the game. A draw. Rogue comes back when they need it. And an unthinkable ending.
Is anyone surprised? I mean, really, though. Because 5 rounds in a row from Rogue, then they lose 6 in a round. Reciprocity managed to make that happen thanks to Laxing's great efforts and then also just a great team rally. And then the final round, Laxing dies to a roamer in the basement of Villa. A roamer in the basement of Villa. How often do engagements even happen down there?
Unless it's a pulse, you don't usually roam down there. Maybe a vigil. But a Valkyrie down there is interesting, and, you know, it just doesn't go their way. And it's hard to outduel Vertical. There's one player on, you know, Rogue that's going to be able to beat Laxing in most fights, and it's probably going to be Vertical. And you saw that in action completely. And I think when you looked at it, Laxing finished that game 13-4, which means that his 1 death in that very final round means that he had 3 prior. Given the fact that Rogue won 5 of those rounds, and one of them was on the bomb, and the other was when Laxing hid, or that was the same one where Laxing hid, I actually think that Laxing's first death on attack came in round 12. If so, absolutely remarkable. Rogue came firing out the gate. They looked really frightening. And then they just completely took their foot off the pedal, and they let, I think, Reciprocity get into their head, and Rec warmed up, and they weren't missing.
Yeah, it was certainly a good match from both teams. Really a heartbreak if you're a Rogue fan, not getting 3 points there. Jeez. But we have more matches for you guys later. And in the meantime, a quick break.